Hey folks, welcome to another numeracy video. In this video, we're going to be looking at moving between tables, equations, and graphs. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so if we have a look at this particular question, what's going to happen is we've been given a situation and we're going to make a table out of it. And then from that table, we're going to draw a graph. And from that graph, potentially coming up with a equation for this particular situation. So if we have a look at here, the first thing it says is Emma wants to host a movie. She must pay a reservation of $30, and then it costs $8 for each person actually attending. So if you think about it, if you think about number of people, when it's 0, she has to actually pay $30 because when she books it, she reserves it, it's going to be $30 regardless of whether anyone's coming or not. And then after that, it costs $8 per ticket. So if she has one person coming, it will become 30 plus 8, which is 38. If it's 2 people, then it's 38 plus another 8, which is 46. And then we kind of just keep going. We got 54, 62, and 70. So this is pretty much the first part of this question here. So I've just completed the table. And now I go to the second part of the question, is plotting the points above, well, not above, on the side of this graph, and we're going to continue the pattern. So at 0, we've got 30, so 0, 30 is going to be there. At 1, we've got 38. At 2, we've got 46. Now, notice these are not like super accurate. They're just kind of roughly getting there where I want it to go. And I guess this is where you can kind of go, well, I'm going to look at some nice numbers. This is 5 there. 5 is at 70. So I'm going to put a little point there. Now, as you can see, as long as I join these two lines here, hang on, let me just gonna go that here. So as long as I'm able to join this point here to this point here, which I know it's not perfect, but I think I might be right there. So what I could do is I could literally just go along and just plot all of those values there. So there's one there, there's one there, one there. And what I'm going to do is possibly just get up to here. And I'm just going to stop there for now. And then I will just create like these little crosses just to get a rough idea of where these points are. I mean, they're not super accurate, but you get the idea. Now, with this particular graph, I know some people get into the habit of like, oh, I've got all these points. Then I just join them up and create a straight line. Now remember, that's actually not true in this case because you can't really have half a person here. So it doesn't actually work. And you can't have like 1.5 people or anything like that. So that's why we don't actually join these dots with this particular set of data, because this is number of people, and number of people is always whole numbers. And so what we're going to do is just make sure that we actually plot the points and kind of leave it at that. But if it was like measurement, then if it's continuous data, then I would actually join the line. But with number of people, because that's discrete data, I don't actually join the line at all. I just leave it as it is. Moving on to the next part of this question. Now I have to apologize. Unfortunately, I made a mistake with this question. So the next part is going to be in different colors, but still the same thing. Now going to part C. Part C actually says, write a rule that represents the total cost here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of, I mean, we can write this as y and x because we know that this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. But because we've already got like, what do you call it, cost, I'm going to put this as big C. And then here we've got number of people. So instead of using x, I'm going to use little n. So I'm going to write a statement here, little statement like C is equal to cost. And little n equals number of people. Now, then comes the really, really easy part, folks. All right. So what's happening here? Now, if you look at it, you're increasing by 8 every single time. So it's actually $8 per ticket. So this is going to be 8 times the number of people plus the reservation charge of $30. So if we think about it, we end up with an equation of 8n plus 30. So that's just saying that I've got $8 per person plus $30 for the reservation. Now this is something quite useful to know because you will see, I'm going to put this here, the 30 is kind of like the starting point right there. And then if you look at the 8 itself, this is how much the y values are going up by. So it's always increasing by 8. So that's why it's always increasing by 8 because we know it's $8 per ticket. Now, if you have kind of seen y equals mx plus c, then you can kind of see the pattern here. Now, if you have never seen y equals mx plus c, don't worry about it. You will get a chance to actually learn that later on as well. But this is pretty much an equation of a straight line here. That's why we're going to put this as 8n plus 30. Now, going to the next question. The next question is actually saying, what's the total cost if 9 people are attending? So if we want to actually try and figure out what's the total cost for 9 people, now we can kind of do this without actually looking at the graph, but we have already kind of seen it at 9, it's equal to 102. But let's have a look at it. So if we actually go C is equal to 8 times 9 plus 30. Now 8 times 9 is 72. So 72 plus 30, that's going to give us $102. So we actually can read it from the graph itself, or we could actually substitute n as 9 and find out what the cost is. Now for the last part, it's actually asking how many people must be attending if the total cost is 134. So we've got to kind of do this the backwards way. So you've got C is equal to 8n plus 30, and we're trying to figure out what the number of people is if it's 134. So we're going to write this down. 134 equals 8n plus 30. Now you can do it algebraically if you want, but some people just go, well, 134 take away 30 and then divide by 8 should give me the number of people, and that's what we're going to do here. So if I was to do this algebraically, what I would do is 134, and I would take the 30 to the other side, which means it becomes minus, and what I've got here is equals to 104, which equals to 8n, and I'm just going to rewrite this as 8n equals 104. So then I can say n is equal to 104 divided by 8, and that's going to be 13, I believe, divided by 8, and that's going to give me 13. So 13 people attended, which means the cost would be $134. So folks, that is just kind of like a quick little intro into going from tables to graphs and then back to equations. But of course, you can do this either way. So you might be given an equation first, you can put that as a graph and then do it as a table. There's just multiple ways of doing this where you can actually travel between the three of them quite easily. Alright folks, that is basically it for this video. As always, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to keep up with the latest content. Now, there should be a couple of playlists popping up here and here. Great material for revision, and as always, thank you for watching.